There will be a theme song.
You could make one up right now.
Sure. You can do whatever you want. It's our podcast.
I just forgot what the podcast is called.
Well, that's okay. That's not your part.
Yes, okay. So, welcome to, what's it called? Perhaps It's You.
Perhaps it's you. Perhaps it's
like this.
me. Perhaps it's them.
There was a hashtag. Someone briefly was using the
was
hashtag
it?
Perhaps It's Me
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Which I approve of.
I wish
very
it kind of
much.
would have taken off more than it did, but
Yeah.
didn't. Anyway,
Those 3 tweets that were gold, though.
they were. They really were.
So this is an unofficial Unsolved Mysteries rewatch podcast, but we're not really doing that today.
And we're done with that. Not forever, but just for
Just
a
for
little
today,
while.
we're done with season 2. This is
Woo!
the season 2 finale.
I'm kind of happy to be done with season 2.
Yeah, it wasn't the
It was-
greatest.
I had a lot of ups and downs.
It got better as the season went on, though. I
That's
think
true.
we got some gems towards the end, such as Ogopogo,
Yeah,
which
we
is
had
a
that
lake
one.
monster in Canada, Kara.
Oh.
There might also be a beaver. We're not sure.
Yeah, it's probably a beaver, but let's just say it's lake.
It's a lake monster
Yeah.
to me.
So I'm Liz,
I'm Samantha.
and we have a special guest today, Kara.
Hi.
She's an alien.
Yeah.
She's a friend of the pod, and
Welcome
she's
back.
here.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be here.
We had so much fun last time that we've been dying to get her back on.
Yeah, you might recognize Kara's voice from our season 1 finale. We're back to do our season 2 finale, and it was so much fun. It went so well that we thought we would bring Kara back.
We're
Woo!
chasing that dragon. We're trying to get lightning in a bottle again. It's probably not going to work.
You know what? That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. If these stories are half as terrifying as the stories we told last time, this will be time well spent, because those really were the spookiest stories I've ever heard.
What do you guys think New Michelle is up to?
I don't want to know. What if she's doing something like really mundane?
Just like making bagels or...
Yeah. She's just like looking at her phone, talking shit. Yeah.
Like you do
Ghosts
when you're
do.
a ghoul.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, well, hopefully we never meet New Michelle.
Yeah.
New Michelle
I
is
don't want
terrifying.
New Michelle coming for me.
Our listener stories from our last season finale were so good.
The
They
fake
were-
window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was scary.
What was up with that?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. The like dark shadow that was darker than the darkness.
Darker than the darkness is my goth metal black band name.
I know.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's scary.
That's why it's so
a scary
scary.
concept.
Uh-huh.
I would like to also do a shout out to people who now have a voice crush on my husband.
There's a few of them out there.
You're right to feel that way.
Mac was on to help us cover RFK. He did a great job. He knows much more about history than we do. And his voice sounds great. I didn't realize that
People
he
were
was...
like, "Oh, I now have a voice crush on your husband," and I was like, "I gotta. That's fine."
I didn't realize
Continue
that
to
he
feel
was
that way.
hesitant to come on the podcast because he doesn't like his voice. His voice is great.
See, no one likes their voice.
That's true.
That's what I've learned from doing this.
That's
I
true.
used to hate my voice, but all these suckers are listening, so who cares?
Can't be that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many listeners now are we up to on this thing?
5.
5.
We added some, but we also subtract some because
Yeah.
Liz's
Honestly,
husband doesn't listen.
Mac doesn't listen.
Yeah.
My
He was
fiance
on
doesn't
here.
listen.
I'm sure Mac is definitely not going to listen to the episode he is on.
He
so-
hasn't listened to it yet.
No, I'm sure he won't.
It's like, I'll just take your word for it that I did a good job.
Yeah,
I get it.
He was
That's
like,
fine.
"Was it terrible?" And I was like, "No, it was really good." And he was like,
People really like that. And people are more into the RFK conspiracy mystery than I expected them to be.
"Yeah,
I don't even know this.
So there's an unsolved mystery segment about the assassination of Bobby Kennedy, where they say that maybe there's a second shooter.
What?
Yeah, but I don't think this segment is very well done in presenting other theories. Like
No.
it just talks about bullet holes a lot.
Pretty much the whole time. And I don't know if that's because some of the crazier conspiracies, like the
I wish
conspiracy
they had
evidence
talked
came out
about
later.
mind control. I wish they had talked about
The woman in the polka dot dress.
yeah, but they didn't bring any of that.
that up. But Mac did some extra research. Really helped us out.
Thank
We
God,
talked
'cause
about it on
we
the
weren't-
podcast.
We weren't gonna do it.
No.
No, we weren't.
No, we
so
weren't,
it was
so.
fortunate that Mac was able to do that.
It's a good way to wrap up season 2. We will be starting season 3, but
Yes.
Samantha's gotta get married, everybody.
Yeah, that little thing's happening.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yay.
In 3
Look
weeks.
how excited she is.
Yeah. It's just...
It's off the charts.
There's a lot going on in my life right now. We're building a house and trying really hard to get it done by the time we're married so that we have somewhere to live when we're married. You know, it's a small thing.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a lot going on. So we shouldn't really have much of a break in programming. We might take 1 week off. But
Yeah.
otherwise, we have a Q&A coming up probably next week or something. We're going to do our 1-year anniversary show.
Do you want to say what that's? We haven't announced what that's going to be yet.
It's very Unsolved Mysteries adjacent. It's so on brand for us. Everyone's gonna be, no one's gonna be surprised about this. We're doing an episode of Bar Rescue.
I need to be on this one. I love Bar Rescue. I love it.
I have to say, so
I'm crying.
I didn't realize that you could watch Bar Rescue on Amazon Prime. You can, so that's how we're gonna do it. I was maybe gonna have my future husband find it on the internet for us, but he was so offended that we talked so much shit about Bar Rescue in our Patreon episode of Kitchen Nightmares. He was like, "How dare you talk shit about John Taffer?"
Love John Taffer. Actually, I don't.
But have you watched a lot of Bar Rescue, Cara?
A ton.
The butt funnel. You remember the butt funnel. You're
She's
looking at me like, what?
I don't
Is
remember
this a
the
sex
butt
thing?
funnel.
because it sounds like
It sounds
for your
anus.
It sounds like a funnel that you put in your butt.
That's just logic.
But what John Taffer calls a butt funnel, like, funnels people onto the dance floor, and then you're all like touching each other, and you want a bone, and then
As
you
our
buy more.
friend of the pod, Angela, pointed out, what many people would call a fire hazard, John Taffer calls a butt funnel. It makes it very hard to exit the building in the case of an emergency.
The butt funnel is trademarked. We're not infringing on anything. Okay, if John Taffer is
So
listening.
what was Travis's complaint about our complaints?
That I think you called John Taffer a turtle man or something.
It's just because he's trying to get his head to like leave the rest of his body.
He has the neck area
He doesn't have much neck.
There's
It's
not a
just-
lot of neck.
it's
It's
really
a lot of head,
It's
and
like-
it's a shoulder
I
body.
get it.
Yes.
I get
Yes,
it.
his head pretty much just
Torso.
runs into his shoulders. He doesn't have a lot of
He's
neck.
just trying to
Which is why he holds his
smooth
head
out-
like that.
I know. I do
And I think
get it.
I
I'm
think we
sorry,
called
John Taffer.
the quote unquote science. I think we kind of called that into question a little, and Travis was like, "It's proven."
I had no idea he was so serious about Bar Rescue.
I didn't either actually.
This
but,
was it's good you know this before you get married.
it's good as good.
We need to watch the episode. It's like the worst one ever, and it's in Iowa. Maybe
Which one is that?
the one
We're gonna
It's been a couple
is-
years.
The one we're gonna do is
to
the
be
pirate
honest.
bar. Do you remember that one where they're like all dressed like pirates and they're very into it, and he tries to turn it into like a corporate bar, which
Oh.
is just doomed from the beginning.
Yeah.
right. Because it's not like
People are like dedicated to the pirate life.
They think they're pirates. It's not an act. Like they live this lifestyle, and John Taffer comes in and he's like, "This is stupid. This is a yuppie neighborhood. You need to make this seem corporate." And I literally think he calls the bar corporate. And then it's like the Amy's Baking Company version of Bar Rescue. Yeah, it's good. It's
so
a good one.
obviously that's what we're doing to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the
That makes
show.
sense. That makes sense, right?
Unsolved Mysteries Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
It makes sense in the logic of our show.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense in any other logic.
No.
but
No.
You know what? It's our podcast, and we do what we want.
We'll do what we want. So
It's
Yeah.
my podcast. And I'll cry if I want to.
Exactly. Liz is dancing. This is.
I mean, I love
happening.
Leslie Gore.
Same.
R.I.P. So, Cara has a new alien story for us. I've already heard it, and it's freaky as hell.
Oh man, I've been looking forward
Tell
to this.
Samantha your recent encounter.
Okay. So I was up in Duluth, Minnesota. Whoop whoop. Duluth.
Represent? Sure,
Represent
sure.
the North
Sure.
Shore.
If we have any listeners,
Listeners,
in
Duluth.
Duluth,
We probably do. Yeah.
Duluthers.
Duluthers, Duluthian. So I'm in Duluth. I was staying at my siblings' apartment, and it was her birthday. We went out for celebrations, fun, all nice. They have a very cute apartment. I am very jealous. They are too young to have an apartment that nice.
I understand.
Yep, I get
That's
it.
not fair.
It's not.
It's not. I just want to put that out there on blast.
You should not have a cute place in your 20s. That's
No,
just
you don't get that.
unacceptable. No.
You live in a small room that's the size of a closet,
It better have
and
a-
you share a house with 7 people.
And it better have a
And I'm
mold
doing that, and
problem.
I'm older.
Exactly.
And whatever. Anyway, moving forward. As most of my alien stories begin, I am trying to go to sleep,
Yeah.
and I am perturbed to see a 8-foot-ish tall, whitish cream gray praying mantis looking creature.
What?
Yeah.
You're wide awake. And
I'm
you see
wide
this?
awake. I'm on her couch. I was having a hard time like getting comfortable because I'm not 12 and I'm sleeping on a couch.
Yeah.
And although I'm like
Been there.
about the size of a 12-year-old, it's still not comfortable
No, yeah,
to
it's-
sleep on a couch as a grown person. And there's not curtains, so there's a lot of light coming in anyway. And I'm like, I can't. I'm having a hard time getting comfortable. And then lo and behold, this giant being is standing.
I really like that you started that with lo and behold. You know, like lo and behold, there was an extra cookie in the cookie jar.
There was an extraterrestrial
Lo and behold,
standing.
there's an alien in the room. That is freaking terrifying.
Yeah, mantis aliens are a thing. I had heard of them. I have never seen one. I've seen gray aliens now, what, 3 times? 2 or 3 times? And this is the first time I've seen a different kind of alien.
Scarier than a gray alien, would you say?
Yeah, it was humongous.
It sounds scarier to me.
They had really tall ceilings there, and it was almost all the way up.
To the ceiling? Mm-hmm. Did it try and communicate with you, or did it just stand there?
No, it just stood there. It was glowing, which was odd.
Yikes.
It had like a shiny, shimmery splendor. It was glowing.
That is so scary.
Did it
Did it
move?
just disappear?
No, it stood there and then it disappeared. So in the morning, I said, and they're used to me saying like kooky shit. So I was like, I saw something last night, and I didn't go into much detail because I didn't want them to think I was any weirder than they already do. I just said, you should get some sage and just sage the place. It just, there's a funky energy. And she said, that's so odd that you say that, because like a couple days ago or like 2 nights ago, both me and her and her boyfriend had sent something crawling up the stairs that they felt was really big. And they were very nervous about that. And I was like, it's probably this. So
Oh my
you
God.
should sage and it'll go away.
Do you think
I haven't
it's been
gotten an
living there?
update yet, but
Like,
I'm not sure.
Like maybe it lives there?
It's so weird that they like knew without you even explaining. They're like, "Oh, you mean that giant insect that's crawling around on our stairs?" And you're like, "Well, yeah, actually."
Oh my God, they need some sort of exterminator.
they do.
Is there
An
like
exterminator
a paranormal?
exorcist?
Yeah, paranormal
I
exterminator.
don't know if you smoke it
Ghostbuster.
out or you like a... You know those like smoke bombs you let off in your house and
Yeah.
you can't live there for a couple days because I wonder if they have something like that
I
only with
noticed
sage.
Kara's carrying around a giant quartz crystal. Is
I
this
am.
to keep away the praying mantis monster.
It is.
Okay,
I'm trying to keep our auras clear.
I
of
like that.
Weird
I appreciate
juju.
it. We really don't need a 4th guest on this podcast, and it certainly doesn't need to be a praying mantis alien
No.
because that
No.
is the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, I can't get it out of my head.
Oh my
It's
God,
really creepy.
That's so scary.
I'm going to pass along a tip from Dangerous Linda that doesn't really apply here. But if you take a ghost walk with her, she will suggest imagining yourself in a purple aura to protect yourself
Astral protection.
from hostile spirits. And she'll be like, look, and if you think that's stupid now, but later you get freaked out, you're supposed to picture yourself in a purple rain.
Yep.
To cleanse yourself of evil spirits. Because she once had like a ghost hitchhiker situation where she was like, not really possessed, but like she
It was
like,
attached to her.
Yeah, she was like, she was haunted.
Do you
And I
think-
sort of feel like aliens are trying to reach out to you specifically, Kara.
I think so.
I wonder what they're trying to say.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You're one of us. You're
Oh my gosh.
I feel like this is almost like a Mothman situation where if they're trying to communicate, we don't know what they're trying to say.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yikes.
If you want to hear Kara's other alien stories, you're going to need to go back and you're going to need to find season 1 finale. She has some other alien tales.
And if you haven't listened to that episode, what are you doing?
Yeah,
one of our best.
seriously.
Get it together.
It's a good one.
Get it together.
It's one of our best.
Also, I think Kara has one ghost story we didn't cover
Oh.
last
Yeah,
time.
I have more, but this one came fresh to my mind this morning.
Okay.
This was over a decade ago, and I was taking a nice night stroll at a park.
Sure.
Sure. Sounds
And
lovely.
it was like maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock, just taking a walk.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I see this little boy who's like maybe 5 or 6, and he just kind of appeared. But kids are very...
They do that.
Right? They're everywhere. You know, they could beep, bop, booping
Yeah.
all around.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I always say about children.
Beep boop bopping around.
constantly.
This kid just he pops out of nowhere, and I'm like, he giggles.
Oh, God.
Yeah! You know how kids laugh, and then he disappeared. He ran away. And I thought, well, that's odd. He's alone. There's no other adults around
10
here.
o'clock
It's
at
10
night.
o'clock
Yeah.
at night. Like, shouldn't you be with your caretaker or you
Sure.
know?
Right.
Some sort of guardian.
Huh?
So I walked around. I saw him again for a second underneath like a light post, and he was just kind of doing kid motion, you know,
Yeah.
dancing with his finger. I don't know. And then he literally disappeared into thin air.
Ghost
And,
children, there's almost nothing scarier.
It was terrifying because it looked like a fully formed
Sure.
Child.
little
Normal
child.
child.
Yeah.
Did you realize that child was a ghost before he just vanished?
I thought it was a kid just moving really
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
But the laugh was creepy. I remember being like, oh, because, well, children laughter and children choirs are things that are the... That's the stuff of nightmares.
I think horror movie trailers have proved that people find those things terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about giggling children. I mean, I feel like maybe someone with children might say that that's a precious sound. I think it's nightmarish.
It is nightmarish. And when they're a chorus of them, and they're in the chorale, and they're all singing their haunting songs, it's...
You know, I've never thought of a child chorus as being scary, but now that you're describing it that way,
Yeah.
it's kind of freaky.
I just went and watched the movie The Birds in the park, which is super fun. And the park district actually brought birds.
What?
Which, yeah, they brought an eagle and a falcon. Isn't that hilarious?
Oh my
That's-
god, that's awesome.
Anyway, there is a scene I had totally forgotten about that is just like the main character waiting outside the school while the children inside are singing, and like slowly in the background, like more and more birds are coming. But this it's just her like sitting there, like getting out a cigarette, whatever, and the children are singing this ridiculous like nursery rhyme-ish song as all the... That's the scariest part of the movie, to hear the children sing this like entire ridiculous song.
And then the birds are coming in the background.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. So we have some listener stories. We haven't read these yet.
No, we've
'cause
been
we wanted
totally
to be
surprised.
So thank you so much for everyone who sent in their stories, and we didn't acknowledge you this whole time because we're mean. But
Yeah, we didn't answer any of these emails. I'm sorry. It was because I didn't want to be spoiled. So
Yeah, it
I
was-
didn't even want to risk it.
It was a no spoiler situation.
Yes.
We appreciate you sharing these things with us, particularly ghost stories are kind of a spiritual nature. These are personal things.
Right.
So thank you for letting us read them. I appreciate it. This is from listener, I'm just going to say M. I feel like their name is revealing. So
Okay.
I don't want to.
Is it old Michelle?
Yeah, probably.
Uh-oh.
No. Okay. I'm listening to this super great episode of Listener Stories, and I can't believe I didn't think to send this to you. My paternal grandfather died when I was 14. He was cantankerous and loved to goad me, but we were close and had a special relationship nonetheless. Throughout my adult life, I've had very real dreams of him sometimes at pivotal points, like of him holding my newborn daughter. My dad does look a lot like my grandfather, but they are clearly distinct people. I called my grandfather Pop Pop. My daughter calls my father Papa. When my daughter was 2, I came into the room and she was laughing. I
there we
said,
go.
"What are you laughing at, baby?" And she said, "My Pop Pop." And I said, "Are you remembering something funny Papa said?" And she pointed across the room and she said, "No, that Pop Pop."
I have chills.
Oh,
He looks like my Papa, but he's not. But he's funny too. Then I
my
noticed
God.
that
I'm freaking out.
that despite the fact that her room faces east and it was late afternoon, it seemed like the sun was shining directly through the windows. What? I sat down and just hung out and let her play, and then everything kind of went back to normal.
I have literally chills right
Yeah.
now. That is so scary.
For a kid to point into like an empty part of the room and be like, "No, that person."
So That's so scary.
That's a
So
really
in
good
that
one.
story, we have ghosts, we have children giggling, and we have a child seeing a ghost. That's like
That's
the
a trifecta
Yeah.
of terror.
They should probably make a horror movie about that.
Oh my god, that's frightening.
Okay, Cara, you want to go
man.
next?
Yeah, I do.
I believe you have. What is this one?
Of cheaters and frog ghost. Well, I don't know why I put a question mark on there. There
Sure.
wasn't.
Well-
anyway.
Frog ghosts? Okay.
I think maybe you saw the phrase frog ghost and that made you question
I'm
things.
perplexed.
Yes, I need to know more.
Here we go. Hello, ladies. I have a ghost story / unsolved personal mystery for you.
Oh.
Here's a little background first. A few years ago, my brother went to the Philippines to stay with his girlfriend or summer. When
Okay.
he came back, he brought me a frog purse. I'll include the picture. I didn't really have use for it, so it became kind of a wall decoration. Before I decided to divorce my husband, I left most of my stuff at that house, including said frog purse. I've got a lot of questions about the frog purse, but we're gonna wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
you know, I divorced him. Great.
Okay.
And when I went to collect some of my belongings, I could not find my frog purse. He's like, oh yeah, I threw it in the closet. Of course. I'm like, what the fuck? And here's a story he gave me. I'm sorry.
The frog purse. Okay.
What? I was sitting in bed the other night playing video games and I heard something scratching. When I looked up, it was swinging on the wall by itself. Can't exactly remember how it went, but I'm pretty sure that was the gist of it. And now for the mystery part. When I came back again to collect more of my things, he had new sheets on the bed, had cleaned the shower, and there was a love note from his girlfriend on the refrigerator. So this is a kind of choose your own mystery. Mystery A, did Phil the frog purse really start swinging and scare him? Or mystery B, did his girlfriend get scared of it and he put it in the closet to make her feel safer? And the greatest mystery of all in this situation, why the fuck did I stay so long? I give my married life -5 out of 5 Robert Stacks. My current life I give 4 out of 5.
That's pretty high.
4 to 5 out of 5 Robert Stacks. Love the show. Please don't ever stop. Frog face. P.S. I actually do have a couple of more ghost stories, but I thought you'd like this
Please send them.
for the caption, obvious factor, LOL.
So
Please forgive me, last night was a rough night. Here's the picture, LOL.
So I'm looking at the picture.
It's a weird purse.
Is it made out
Is
of
it
a
an actual frog?
It looks like it's a real frog.
Can I
And we
see
were
it
just
closer?
talking about toad shoes.
Yeah, that's really
That's
weird.
odd.
I think this is an actual frog made into a purse.
I like that she was like, well, I didn't really have much use for it. Oh, no shit. You didn't have a use for a hollowed out frog. Someone was like, I don't know, you can put coins in it. Weirdly, very weirdly, before this show started, I was telling Samantha and Cara that my brother found these weird shoes at an antique store that he owns that are made out of toads. What are the odds of that?
I don't know.
But they look like the front of the shoe is like the toad's face, and then the rest of the shoe, they're like little loafers. The rest of the shoe is made out of the toad leather.
Oh my god. This
But
is so
he never
disturbing.
wears them because they're very brittle, and I guess you shouldn't make things out of toads. That's
No,
the
this is the
lesson.
moral of the story. The poor toads and the frogs.
No one needs a frog purse, and no one needs toad shoes.
No. No, and
Things we didn't think we had to say.
Yeah.
if I was a frog or a toad and someone killed me and made me into clothing or accessories, I would haunt the shit out of that person.
And I'm sorry, this is not an attractive bag.
No. That's what I always think about those rugs that are like a bear. Like it has like the head
Oh,
of the
yeah.
bear.
It doesn't even
still-
look good.
It looks, first of all, it looks terrible. Second of all, that bear is going to come to life and maul you.
Yeah, as it
its-
should.
And its spirit is haunting you. Like, that's disgusting.
Because you have bad and tacky taste.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, out of her 3 mysteries, what do you think? I mean, clearly the third one is a mystery. That'll
Yeah,
never
why
be
did
solved.
you say so long? Look, we
know
all
what?
make mistakes like that.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's just human nature.
Right.
Don't
Can't-
beat yourself up about that. Was the purse moving, or did it just freak out his girlfriend? Why would he say it was moving, though?
Yeah.
The scratching noise is what's getting me.
Why didn't he just go, it was fucking hideous, and I put it in the closet? And then you'd be like,
It also
"Oh,
wasn't
yeah."
his, so and they weren't together, so it would be normal to put their stuff in the
Yes.
closet, especially when it's a purse that's a frog.
It'd be pretty normal to go, I didn't want to look at that anymore.
Yeah.
I put it away. You're
Yes.
lucky I didn't
So-
throw it in the trash.
Maybe it was a ghost.
Maybe it was just, I don't know, the universe was getting back at him for being shitty.
Maybe.
Could be.
I wanted to scare him a little bit.
I'd like to believe that.
Yeah.
That's what I would like
Karma.
to believe, yeah. I just think he had it coming based on how she rated her married life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's probably true.
Okay. All right. Samantha, what's your next tale?
This says that it's a ghost story.
Oh.
This is from Shawnee. And they say, hello, sorry I missed the season finale, Story Fest, but here's one for later. The story is my husband's. He was living in a tiny trailer with his cousin, same place we live now, about 10 years ago before he met me. So one morning he wakes up on the couch and his cousin, whom I will call Will, is sitting in the recliner next to the couch. As he's waking up, he asks Will why Will is not at work yet, and Will tells him he doesn't have to go in yet. Then my husband gets a text from Will telling him he is at work. So my husband's like, nope, and he leaves the house. Talking to Will later, he really was at work that morning, so we're not sure what or who this mysterious doppelganger was. There's more to the story.
It's New Will.
Oh, God.
Ah!
No! Not New Will. Oh, my God. Okay, a different cousin used to spend the night with us. He was 13 and used to be extremely afraid of our hallway at night. It was pretty spooky looking, to be fair. We've since bought a new trailer to put on the same lot and sold the old one. We haven't heard anything else from the other people who visited, but I've had one incident myself. This is the same end of the trailer that the old hallway was on. It was nighttime and I was opening the bathroom door. I felt a tug on the other end. I immediately let go of the door and then it swings in with more force than I put behind it. Because I was sleepy at the time. I wasn't pushing very hard. So I'm thinking that whatever or whomever was there, it is more tied to the land or one of us rather than the original trailer we lived in. I probably need to burn some sage or something, but it's not bad. But it's not bad enough to really warrant that right now.
I don't know. You might want to just give it a try. It
Give the sage it can't hurt, might help.
New Will is fucking
That's
scary.
creepy.
New Will
AF.
is terrifying. That wasn't in the same trailer though.
No, they
Okay.
since sold that trailer, but they've had some spooky incidents since then. So it may be like the ghost is on the land.
Maybe try the Purple Rain thing.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you might want to get a professional to come sage
Deal with
shit.
the New Will situation.
Yeah, I don't
That's
like
really
that at
scary.
all.
I'm glad old Will it was fine. When I
Yeah,
started
because
reading
I
that,
thought he was gonna
be dead.
be dead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I thought
But
that
he was
story
just
would
like,
go.
nope, I'm just at work. I don't know who the hell you're talking to.
Creepy.
It's creepy.
Yeah. He was so scared that he got up and left the house. That's pretty frightening.
Yeah.
So we have new Will and we have new Michelle now. God,
Ugh.
Maybe they'll meet and fall in love.
Aw.
that's a lost love
Yeah.
situation.
Some heteronormative ghost culture.
I know. That's what I was gonna say.
Just because a male and a female spirit meet, Liz, doesn't mean they're gonna fall in love.
God.
Okay.
Okay.
Ghost patriarchy.
Listen, it doesn't end after we die.
Yeah.
If only.
Fuck. Let's hope that's not true. Okay. Story 1. This happened to me when I was around 12 years old, so around 1994. I remember that year. My mom and dad wanted to go out to dinner, but they didn't want to leave me home alone. I insisted I'd be all right and that I'd keep in contact with our neighbor across the street, who was also my godmother. They said okay and went off to have a nice date night. After I checked in with my godmother, I decided to take a bath. I want to say this was around 8-ish. My bedroom was right next to the bathroom, so I was able to play music on a gigantic stereo my brother had given me
The 90s.
Nice.
with silent equalizers on the front. It looks kind of like this. It's just a large boom box.
Whoa, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this
nice
is-
graphic.
It's a nice one. So anyway, I turned on the boombox and hit play on one of my tapes. I don't remember what it was anymore, but most likely it was hard rock or heavy metal, probably Metallica. Sure, it was
That's
94.
bath time music.
Enter Sandman.
Nice relaxing bath to Metallica on your boombox. Why not? I turn it on very high because that kind of music is already super loud. After getting the music going, I walked into the bathroom to turn the water on. We had an old bathtub that had the kind of faucets that have the big crystal knobs on them.
Love it.
Yeah, sounds nice. That you had to turn left or right to adjust the water temperature. As I was turning the hot knob, the stereo went nuts. The volume got so loud I had to put my hands over my ears and run into the bedroom to turn it down.
Oh no.
What I saw still freaks me out to this day.
Oh my god, I'm so scared.
The volume knobs and equalizer sliders were moving around on their own. I stared at it for a few seconds that felt like a few minutes, then reached out and shut the tape off. I backed out of the bedroom and into the bathroom to turn the water off. I turned around to see that the knobs on the bathtub were moving on their own too.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm freaking out.
Again, I just stared at it for a few seconds, then reached
shit.
down and turned the water off really fast. I ran into the other part of the house and freaked out until my mom and dad got home.
Hell yes.
I
my
didn't
God.
tell them what happened, though, because I didn't think they'd believe me. I found out years later that my brother, sister, and first cousin all experienced weird things in that part of the house. A lot of the experiences before and after that one, but nothing on that scale again. Mostly shadows, messed up electronic equipment, and smells.
Oh god. That is so scary.
Oh, that
It's almost like the ghost was in front of you and then you're backing away into some place you think is safe and then the
And the
ghost is
ghost is
behind
right
you. Oh my god, I'm so scared. That's freaky.
There's another one.
What?
From
Okay.
this person.
Oh god. Oh,
This is
god.
from A. Okay. I moved into a house about 2 years ago that was owned by two elderly people that had, since it was built in the 70s. I don't know for sure, but I think at least one of the elderly couple died in the house. This incident has happened to me 3 times now. I don't like this.
Neither do I.
I had to turn the paper over and it's holding me in suspense. I have a pretty big bedroom with a long walk from the door to the window next to my bed. All the experiences start the same way. I wake up, it's about midnight, and I watch a white shape float from the door to the window. I know it's not sleep paralysis because I suffer from that occasionally, and I definitely can't move during an episode. I can move when I see this white shape floating. After the first time, I got up and left the room. I just pull the blankets over. Now I just pull the blankets over my head and try to ignore it. It's freaky though.
This has happened 3 times?
Yes.
You need to move.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
get
would
out of there.
get out.
You need that person from Poltergeist to come to your house.
Yes. Yep. We need a young
Oh.
priest. What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. You need a young priest, an old priest, a new priest.
And a blue priest.
What? I don't know what Samantha's talking
Some
about.
reference from something I don't fully understand.
Okay.
That is really scary.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a good one. Oh my god.
Do you think it's a
Whoa.
ghost from the stereo incident and it followed them?
I hope not because
That ghost sounds mean.
Yeah.
That's
was
not
like
funny.
That was like a prank.
I feel like maybe
That's scary.
I feel like the spirit that's just walking through, it might just be someone who's stuck, you know, and they're just walking the
They're
same
just-
every
yeah.
night.
I think the second ghost does seem harmless.
Yeah, but more scary because you're actually seeing something,
Oh.
you know,
Yeah.
like a shape or
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
frightening.
No.
Maybe leave an offering out for the ghost.
Yeah,
Cookies?
Yeah, why not?
everyone likes cookies.
Couple
You could leave them
dollars?
some pistachio Oreos,
So yeah, leave out
Yeah.
some pistachio Oreos.
which are the best. So I'm sure a ghost would
And
like
A
it.
glass of mango wine.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I apologize if I'm getting aspects of this incorrect, but I know in Thailand, often outside of a home or a hotel or whatever, there's a little spirit house. It's like a smaller little, often gold structure.
Interesting.
And that's so the spirits will live in that house and not your house.
Oh.
So I'm not an expert on this, but maybe look into that, and maybe you could get the ghost in your house to move into that.
How nice.
I
like that
think it's
idea.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah, if I'm a ghost and someone builds me a house, that's so nice.
Thank you. I'll
And
hang
they're-
out in there.
They're very pretty. So if I was a ghost, I would definitely be like, yeah, I'm gonna go live in that.
Thanks.
Thanks for thinking of me. And then yeah, you can like leave out little offerings and stuff for them, and then they don't harm you.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
An orange,
yeah, like some incense,
a Groupon.
a Groupon, pistachio Oreos.
I thought you might like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
So you can be like.
It's
more
a paint night for 3 friends and one bottle of wine. I got it on good deal, $39, and it's normally $48.
I could have kept that for myself, but I thought you'd really
Yeah.
like it.
It's gonna expire in 2 days. But I mean, then maybe you could be like more like roommates with the ghost. You know, like you could both live in the same area.
It's like a guest house.
Yeah, it's like a casita for your ghost.
Exactly. Like a granny pod or whatever.
Yeah.
Granny pod.
Don't you know what those? So people are making these like.
They're like sheds.
They're like sheds or like a small, like a tiny home that you put like in your backyard and your elderly parent lives there.
Say your parents' pension got stolen by Enron and they thought they were going to be able to retire and now they can't. And so you're like, what are we going to do with them?
Do you want them in your house?
Like, honestly, no. Sorry, Mom and Dad. So you have to put a shed in your backyard and make
that's
them
where they
live in
The
that.
granny pod, I'm like in my mind when you said that, I'm seeing like a clear tube that like has
Like a
a
goldfish.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah, and they just kind of like stand in there.
It's like what you put your. It's what you put your Beanie Babies in when you were little. So you
Yes.
keep them pristine
Yes.
when they were going to be worth a bunch of money. It's
Yeah.
like that clear tube.
Sure.
Yep.
But you put your grandma in it.
And then she does the mime thing, but like for real. Because when has anyone ever trapped in a glass box? Never.
Never.
Granny pod.
The granny pod. Well, that's actually my podcast, so shout out to me.
I would listen to the granny pod.
Granny pod.
Is it all about like appreciating quilts and homemade jams? Because I'm all about that.
I love a preserve.
Subscribe
Yeah.
right now.
Granny pod.
Brought to you by Ghost Slut, coming this fall.
Ghost.
I can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be on Netflix. Coming soon.
Boo
Okay.
girl.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read us the next tale.
Reptilian aliens? Question mark. This time there's a real question mark.
Okay.
Hello! I recently discovered your podcast, and I am so unbelievably happy that I did. I
We
recently,
left the flattery in there.
I know, I'm not holding back.
Yeah.
I recently got into listening to podcasts, and I listen to them 40 hours a week at my job.
person
What is your job?
I want it.
I don't know.
So I'm always looking for new ones
Desk
to listen
job?
to. I want that. Anyway, I stumbled upon your podcast, which has beautiful long episodes about my favorite subject ever.
They are
unsolved mysteries. They are beautiful
They
and
are
long.
beautiful.
Nothing more beautiful than
Nothing more beautiful
podcasts
and long.
that you listen to.
Now, I am only 26, but I specifically remember racing home after getting off the school bus to put on Lifetime so I could watch rerun episodes of Unsolved.
Respect.
That's how I was introduced to the show, and I was mesmerized from the beginning. I really wish they would do a reboot, but I don't think it would be as good without Robert Stack and all the
That's true.
corniness of the 80s. Anyways, I was listening to one of your episodes, I think episode 4, and you asked listeners to reach out if they have an aunt that believes in reptilian aliens.
Oh, yeah. I
Yes.
specifically did.
I'm cheering. Yes, finally.
Well, you're in luck, kind of, because my aunt, who is from North Carolina, traveled home, Boston, a couple of years ago, not to visit her family, but to attend an alien convention, and the Boston Globe interviewed her. And what she said was very interesting.
Yes, this is the
Did they
best.
see this in the newspaper? They're first of all, hey, relative so-and-so is in town and
Aunt-
didn't tell us.
Aunt
And then
Sue
it goes
is
like,
in the.
oh, also, she believes in reptilian aliens. All right, so what did she say?
Who came from Apex, North Carolina to attend, said she saw a UFO in 1989 and also believed the September 11 attacks were orchestrated by the U.S. government. But she rejected no idea. But she rejected other stories, including most Bigfoot sightings and theories. She has heard about President Obama being a reptilian alien. Unless I see proof for myself, I don't know, she said. Here's the article itself. You are welcome, and if you mention it on the podcast, please leave her name out or whatever. I just said her full name.
Okay, maybe can you just beep it? Can we do that?
Can
or
you
can you
beep?
just like...
I've never done that before, but I could try.
Delete what I just said because it sounded like mouth garbage. P.S. You know how everyone has a token crazy relative? This is her, and one of her prized possessions is a photo of Weird Al kissing her on the cheek when she met him like 20 years ago. Love the show. You guys are doing great.
Okay.
Wow, that was great.
That
That was excellent.
How would you get proof that Obama was a reptilian alien? Would you have to like actually
Is she
see
okay,
him?
here's my
I don't
question.
get
Is she
this.
looking for proof that he's not a reptilian or proof that he is a
I think
reptilian?
she's trying to stay. She's heard it, but she needs proof.
Like, would he take off his face and
I-
reveal
yes.
a reptile underneath? Like,
He
what?
would be walking by and she would find shredded snake skin and she'd be like, I knew it.
Listen, I can entertain some conspiracy theory ideas. Okay. But I don't know about the reptilian thing.
Maybe it shouldn't be funny to me, but it is funny to me that she was like, I once saw a UFO, and also 9/11 was done by the government. Like, okay, those seem like two separate thoughts, but
Yeah, I mean, they really do. Unless,
unless
you're talking about the government
used UFOs to do 9/11.
and that they are reptilians, and that somehow plays into it.
We
I
need
don't
more.
know. There's a lot to unpack on that one, but
We need more information.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, aunt whoever. We'll
sounds
leave her
like-
name out of it.
It sounds like you don't see your aunt very often, and maybe that's for the best.
I like when she said a couple of years ago, not to visit her family, but to attend an alien convention.
Maybe you should view her not visiting you as a gift.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like it might have been a
Kinda
blessing.
seems like it might have been. All right, let me see. I think I have another ghost story here. Okay. Oh, this one comes with pictures. Let's
I'm
see. So this
scared.
is called a reassuring haunting. This is intriguing, and it's was sent in by Kathleen. Hey, ladies, I 1,000% believe in ghosts, and always have.
That's a lot of percent.
Bless.
I've always wanted to be haunted. I don't know. Okay, but I have never been selected until recently.
Selected?
I didn't know ghosts could
She's
select.
viewing it as an honor that the
suppose-
spirit
okay,
could
sure.
be doing anything, but it's spending time with you.
That's a really good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Well, they could be.
I wonder what Dangerous Linda would think about that theory.
I mean, I don't think she liked her hitchhiker ghost.
No,
but
I think she's of the opinion that we should encourage the ghost to move on.
yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am way into genealogy, and I discovered that my great-grandfather had a huge ranch in northeast New Mexico, which is still named for him. When I tracked it down, it turned out that the house he built had been renovated for hunters who come to the area to drive around in trucks and shoot at antelope from their windows. In parentheses, she
that's
says, this is
awful.
a real thing.
No, I know it's a real thing. It's just bad.
Yeah.
It is cringy.
It's almost as bad as making shoes out of toads.
Well,
But the owners agreed that we could stay there, so some family and I spent several days on the ranch.
were they required to shoot? It was like, yeah, you can stay here, but you have
You
to
gotta-
shoot 3 antelope
Yeah.
a day.
It seems like she included the word "but," so but even though we weren't interested in shooting antelopes, they let us stay there. Where we stayed was an adobe house built around 1900, and my great grandfather's name is carved all over the house. He was a very successful man, but he died young in the flu epidemic of 1918, leaving behind 7 kids and a devastated wife who was 45 and pregnant with my grandmother.
Wow.
That's a lot of children. That could be a chorus of itself.
That
I
is late to be burrow at that
Yeah.
period of time.
Yeah.
So he died in the house during a blizzard, and they had to keep his body in the house for 3 days until they could burrow out of the house to bury it. After he died, everything fell apart and they lost the ranch, so even my grandmother has no memories of it since she was born after he died.
Wow.
Anyway, it was amazing to get to stay there. One night I was trying to get to sleep and I felt someone sit on the edge of my bed. I was sharing the room with my dad, so I assumed it was him. I was on my stomach with the sleep mask and earplugs in, so I just sort of put my arm out and there was nothing there. I took the sleep mask off and my dad was sleeping soundly in the other bed.
Ugh.
I shrugged it off, put the sleep mask back on, and put my head down again. The weight on the edge of the bed got more insistent, like it was leaning further into me.
No.
I realized what was happening and had a brief moment of terror, but then thought to myself, this is a ghost, and it has to be an ancestor, so this must be a reassuring gesture of comfort. That is a very rational thought to have. I think I would have
Yeah.
screamed and ran out of the
Yep.
room.
Yeah.
This calmed me down enough so that I could eventually go to sleep, which sounds insane to me now, but in the moment, your brain can't process what's happening, so you have to self-soothe so your head doesn't explode.
I think this person is just much more rational than I am.
I think
Same.
that's true. The next day, I walked into the house from outside. It's adobe, so inside it's pretty dark, so it took a second for my eyes to adjust. I saw a man walking towards me, which I assumed was my dad, and then when I blinked, he was gone. I can only assume that this was my great-grandfather, even though this was last summer. I'm just now starting to process what all this means. There's photos attached for reference.
Yeah.
Look at this photo. This is a photo of my great grandfather looking like a total badass. He's the one with the jaunty hat. This is a picture of a bunch of guys who could win MVM.
Oh, yeah.
Look at them all.
Wow,
look at all these
dapper.
old-timey mustaches.
that one hat is very jaunty.
It is jaunty.
Jaunty.
That's her great-grandfather.
That is the only word to describe it.
Yeah.
Kat, your
Jaunty.
great-grandfather gets MVM for this episode.
Absolutely. Hands down.
Oh, oh God, this looks like this is the whole family.
That's creepy.
That's from a horror movie.
Sorry.
That is super creepy.
Sorry, your family
It looks
is...
like a ghost family.
It is a gross.
All old photos are kind of creepy because people had to stand so still.
Yeah.
And it
And
just
not
seems like
smile.
really unnatural.
Oh.
But there's something
Yeah.
even just a way about the contrast and like how the family is like
The way it's
standing.
lit too, it just
like,
looks like
so
these are
creepy.
ghost children.
People.
They're gonna it's
They're
like you
gonna
would be
haunt
looking
ya.
at that photo and then the photo would start moving.
Yeah.
Like in Harry Potter, but terrifying.
Someone would blink.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'd be like, ah!
Kat, if you are in our Facebook group and you're interested in sharing these photos, you don't mind the world seeing them, you should share them because I think people would really like to see them. She also included a few photos of the ranch, which looks really cool.
Okay. This is from Jay. I just found your podcast a few weeks ago and I've been hooked since. You remind me of a couple of friends I've had since high school that I'm still close with. I find myself laughing out loud when I'm listening to you two, and it always puts me in a better mood if I'm having a shitty day. Well, that is very nice. Thank you. Anyways, I'm also writing because I wanted to share my ghost stories with you. I have a ton, but I'll just share a couple now. It's interesting that if people have one ghost story, it's like, oh, I've got like 50 more of those.
Yeah, and here I am with 0 ghost stories.
We want to hear these other
bullshit.
ghost stories. Anyway, I want to start out by saying I was a huge skeptic of anything paranormal my whole life until I moved into my wife's house. I've always been interested in the paranormal, but I didn't think ghosts or the afterlife was real. My wife and I live in South Jersey, and I moved into my wife's house almost 5 years ago. She had her house built 10 years ago on land that used to be a lake back in the 60s and 70s. After that, it had a playground on the land. I don't like where that's going. No. And was finally abandoned in the 80s. Before she moved in,
80s.
she told me she had, quote, experienced some things, but she never said much about it.
Ask some follow-up questions.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be nosy, but you guys got to know. After I moved in, I started noticing weird shit happening. We heard disembodied voices that sounded like my wife. What?
Yikes.
Almost every night, the house would, quote, come alive between 9:30 and 10:30 and would pop and crack really loud.
What?
At specific times? What?
That is not normal.
No.
She would always say that the house was settling.
Every day at the same time?
Every day for just an hour. You know, the specific times. We later figured out that that wasn't what the noises were. My wife had a TV in the front room of the house that was the playroom for our kids, and the TV would turn on by itself randomly and would always be on the Cartoon Network, even if the last channel watched was different.
Huh.
We've witnessed orbs, weird mist, and shadow people in our bedroom. Our bed has a leather headboard, and a few years ago, scratches started appearing only on my side of it.
Oh, no.
Who knew
Yikes.
headboard scratches could be so unsexy, right?
Yeah.
My wife thought it was me scratching at it at night, so we put a blanket over it for a few months, and the scratches got worse.
What?
Even appeared in places a hand wouldn't be able to physically reach.
I'm getting...
That is really
I
scary.
Out.
hate your wife's house.
That is
When are you
really
gonna
scary.
Yeah.
And this keeps going. We're not done.
Oh my god.
I saw a ghost in our kitchen once. It was on a Saturday night. We were watching TV. Out of my peripheral vision, I saw a gray ghost walking through our kitchen towards the back of my house. Later, my wife said she had seen it a bunch of times too.
Oh,
She just never brought it up?
why is she so vague?
I have to say, the communication in your marriage could be better.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds like your wife is keeping a few things from you, such as the fact that her house was clearly haunted and she knew.
Yeah.
She probably should have told you that before you moved in.
Yeah.
We've had a Barbie move from the playroom in our hallway in a way that would be impossible if it just fell out of our girl's dollhouse. The doll was in the hallway behind the wall
What?
that the dollhouse is on, and on a weekend when our kids were with their other parents. My wife and I have kids from a previous relationship. I have had a red imprint on my back the size of a 6-year-old's hand.
What?
Okay,
That
no,
just
no,
appeared one day.
not okay with this. No, this is not
No,
okay. You
no,
need to get out of
no,
there.
no,
Just
no.
get out.
We've
Get out.
had strange smells in our house also.
Smells again.
We've smelled cigarette smoke in our closet, and neither one of us smokes. We've smelled flowers in our family room randomly, and I've smelled putrid, rotting meat in our basement that followed me upstairs once.
That is
Okay.
so creepy.
That's a demon.
That's a
Yeah.
yeah.
that is a
That's
demon.
messed up.
You got to get out of there.
You gots to go.
This is beyond. You're beyond help. The purple rain can't help you. Sage is not going to do that shit. You need to just get out.
Before I started this podcast, I never would have just gone, well, that's a demon, and you gotta go. But that is a fucking demon.
That's a
and
demon
you gotta get
for
out of there.
show.
We also had a small radio that my wife would use outside when she and the kids would garden. One morning, I went into the garage and the radio was thrown off its shelf it sat on and landed about 7 feet from the shelf. I have pictures I can send that shows where it landed in our garage.
Did they see it get thrown? That's what
I'm not sure.
I think that's just where it ended up. And
Yeah, they don't know
okay.
how.
I assume.
Like, it
Weird.
couldn't just fall off the shelf and be 7 feet away.
Right, yeah, no, that doesn't happen.
And the strangest thing that okay, the child's imprint on the back.
that
has
was
it
not the
so-
strangest. There's a stranger thing.
Yes. The strangest thing that happened to me personally in the house happened back in the beginning of this past December. It was a Sunday night and I was laid off at the time. My wife gets up at 5 a.m. to go to work. Oof.
That's too early.
Samantha's like, I get up at 4.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm like trying to fall asleep as Samantha's getting up. Anyway.
Same.
We had our kids with us that weekend. That Monday morning, I was taking my kids to school. At the time, I was sleeping downstairs on the couch in the kids' playroom so that I wouldn't wake up my wife when I went to bed. Nice of you. This night, I went to bed around 12:30. I was laying down for only 10 minutes when I heard a hard object like a wooden ball hit the girl's dollhouse and bounce around 4 times until it landed.
What?
Like someone threw a small wooden ball at the dollhouse with force and it ricocheted around inside it. When I heard this, I jumped up, looked in that direction of the room, and said, "What the fuck?" out loud, expecting to see something even though the room was pitch black. After a few moments, I laid back down, trying to rationalize what had just happened. After a minute or two later, the top of my head started tingling.
Yikes!
Slowly, the feeling moved towards my ears, my jaw, my neck, my shoulders, slowly moving down my entire body to my feet, almost like I had been scanned by a beam.
Oh my god.
This
No.
is a feeling that I can only describe as tingling electricity. It slowly moved back up to my head and then again down over my legs and feet, speeding up the more it moved over me. I wasn't dreaming and I wasn't experiencing sleep paralysis. I didn't think to open my eyes. The only thing I could think in that moment and the feeling I was experiencing. It felt like it lasted an hour, but it probably happened for half a minute or so. After I ended up getting up, I grabbed my pillow and went to the bedroom, apologized to my wife for waking her up, and told her what had just happened. I haven't slept on that couch since then.
That's
Ha
so fucking
I
scary.
wasn't scared, but I was definitely freaked out.
You were scared.
You were scared.
It's okay to say you
It's
were
okay.
scared.
What's the difference between those two things?
I'm freaked out right now.
I'm so freaked out.
scared. Honestly, though, out of everything that has happened in the house, I was only scared once. Wait, not by the child handprint? Because that is
Or
really...
the scratches?
Scratches.
When I was in our basement, I have a studio where I paint, and I was in it one day around 5 in the afternoon, and I had the eeriest feeling of being watched from across the room. Our basement is the least scary basement ever. Oh, so the opposite of my basement. So this was definitely weird. About the time my wife told me the same thing and also heard footsteps on the rug there. In January, I contacted a psychic to try and get some answers about what was happening. She said we had an earthbound spirit who was in our house. She said he was an angry person in life and continued to be nasty in death. He was moving things, etc., basically to try and get our attention. He was also jealous of me moving in. Oh, that would explain the scratches.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh. She said that he was the one looking at me in the basement to try to get me to notice him. Long story short, she got him out of the house within a week of me contacting her. She also said we have a white portal in the kids' playroom that was responsible for most of the other activity. She said the spirit I saw in the kitchen was my wife's Aunt Edna, and she comes by to check on her and the kids, and was also the disembodied voice we had heard. This house is not that old, and it's haunted as fuck.
Yeah,
A
it's
white portal. I have so many questions about the white portal.
I guess that's like a portal to the other side.
I guess.
Whoa.
So the children's spirits are like coming and going.
That's frightening.
That's, again, with the children.
Yeah. Nope.
No,
Finally, she
can't.
said we also have a spirit of a little boy named Matthew.
Creepy.
When the psychic was clearing out spirits, Matthew asked if he could stay.
Aww.
What?
Did they let Matthew stay?
Now we have Matthew living with us and looking over our kids, according to her. Now the house is dead quiet at night. No more pops and loud cracks. A week after the psychic cleared the house, the air felt lighter and the whole house felt happier. There's more strangeness that happened before the spirits were cleared, but that's a long enough email from now. Oh my god. I'd love to tell you more stories if you guys are interested. Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
I'm terrified.
I'm so glad they let Matthew stay.
Yes, that's very nice of
Whoa.
them.
Yeah, that was very nice of you. Maybe make him a house. That's all I have to say. Yeah, that's frightening.
I'm so,
I can't believe
terrified.
there's so many spirits in that house, but I'm glad you separated out the good ones from the bad
Yeah,
ones.
I am
Yes,
too.
I'm glad you. That's the thing you can do. Get rid of the bad ones.
I feel like
leave
you
the good
should
ones.
guilt trip your wife ever so slightly for not warning you that house was haunted as
Rotting
fuck.
Yeah.
meat smell is
That's-
like
yes.
that followed you is so creepy.
Yep, that's a
What was
demon.
that?
As a vegan, that
That's Kara's worst nightmare.
it's highly
I
upsetting.
mean, I wonder if that was the spirit that didn't like him.
I think so.
Probably was. Yep.
That's
That
so
was watching
creepy.
him. The jealous.
the scratches. That is really
I don't
scary.
like that at all.
I don't like that one bit.
Oh, it's
Because
so
usually
creepy.
if I think of a ghost, I think of the ghost that's the white shape passing through the window. Like they're there, but they're harmless.
Not that they're out to
Not
get
this
you.
Scratching nonsense.
No, that's not good at all.
Oof, those were really good stories.
Wow.
And you clearly took it much better than I did.
You'd be getting filing divorce papers.
Yeah, I'd be like, you did not fucking tell me there were malicious spirits in this house.
Multiple.
And then you're like, oh yeah, I've seen those ghosts. Hello. First
Yeah,
of
no.
all, if someone has a cool ghost story, that should be like first date conversation. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Don't like
Yeah.
tell me about your favorite sports team or some shit.
No.
Be like, I've got a great ghost story. And then I'd be like, yeah. Anyway. Is that it? Is that
I
our
have
final
one more.
Oh, okay.
Did my last one? Okay.
I think you're at the last.
This is another
tale.
ghost story. And this was sent in by Heather. Heather says, "Hi girls, I have a ghost encounter story for y'all. I used to live in a small town nestled in the middle of rural Wisconsin. Shout out to our neighbors. And there are tons of stories about ghosts, cryptids, and general paranormal activity. I unfortunately never had the pleasure of a sewer gremlin sighting.
What?
Which
That doesn't sound like a pleasure at all. That sounds terrible.
No, that's really scary. Which my cousin swears up and down that he saw one night crawling out of the grates like Pennywise. Okay.
Yeah, Samantha, don't worry. That was a feral raccoon.
Yeah.
Or possum.
Possum.
A feral possum. Those can be a little freaky.
Yeah. Is that worse than a sewer gremlin? I don't know. Nor did I ever see the lady in white, which was said to have roamed the town streets at night. But there were definitely some weird things that went on during my time as a child there.
Uh-oh.
The lady in white. That sounds
Creepy.
really scary. The same cousin also happened to live in one of the town's oldest historic homes, which the parents still live in to this day. And each family member, the 4 grown kids and the parents, have countless stories about the spirit of an old farmer which resides in the house with them. Most frequently, they hear heavy footsteps walking across the parents' bedroom on the 2nd floor, which was the room where the man supposedly died of a heart attack, and footsteps going up and down the stairs. However, they often have seen his figure standing in the doorway of the barn. They have also witnessed doors in the house being opened and closed, felt him run past them as they watched TV upstairs,
Nope.
experienced sleep paralysis, and have even heard from their spare bedroom a faint old-timey music which sounds
Nope.
as if it is coming from a phonograph.
Oh, no.
That's
no,
kinda cool.
No, but
She writes creepy ass shit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really creepy.
It's true. Anywho, a long time ago, my family and I went to visit them years after we moved away. And wouldn't you know, we'd always stay at that house when we went to visit. On the last night we were staying there on this particular trip, my husband and I were out in one of the large garages on the property, partying with Gremlin Cousin and some of their friends.
I hope you regularly refer to your cousin as Gremlin cousin.
I hope so too.
Oh yeah, that's my cousin. He's a gremlin once.
It's a sewer gremlin, so now we call him Gremlin.
Sewer gremlin.
All of a sudden, my younger brother comes running in incredibly frightened. He, like me, is not easily scared, and we have usually dismissed the family's ghost claims. Not because they weren't credible people, it was more that we hadn't experienced it firsthand ourselves. With tears in his eyes, he described that he had been in the living room of the house getting ready to go to bed early. He turned off the TV in the living room, and as he turned the lights off, he happened to be facing towards the window. When he hit the switch, a silhouette of a large man appeared and looked as if he were sitting on the couch that sat just a mere 10 feet from where he was standing. He flicked the light back on, and there was, of course, nothing there. He flipped it back and forth a few times. Each time the room darkened, the silhouette was back. That's so scary.
So messed up.
He noped the fuck outside and ran out to where we were partying. As he was yet telling me this story, I noticed that there were 3 red scratch marks across his left cheek that had not been there just a half an hour before.
Oh, no.
What's with ghosts? What's with scratching?
I don't know.
Stop scratching!
I asked him if he had scratched himself, and he said he did not and wasn't aware of the marks. This terrified me pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I feigned indifference and told him to hang out with us until we all went back inside. Well, that night, as I was lying in bed, super awake, but I squeezed my eyes shut, I felt a blast of warm breath on my face.
Ew.
I know.
I'm just imagining like tuna.
Ooh, yeah. Or coffee breath or something.
Tuna breath.
My husband was asleep at my back, and there was no one else in the room. I pulled the covers over my head and grasped onto my husband like a cat on a scratching pose for the rest of the night.
Fair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was as close as I ever came to the spirit in that house, but Jiminy Crickets was it scary.
Yeah.
That's
very terrifying.
Anyway, that was just one of the many stories from that creepy house, and I am relieved to say I haven't gone back in years. Thank you so much for doing your podcast. I love Unsolved Mysteries since I was a kid, and it's been fun to revisit the series with you guys. I'm proud to be the 6th listener. Cackle on, Heather.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
I don't like that at all.
That's
though.
really scary. The turning the light on and off, and every time you turn it off, yikes.
Nope. And the scratching and the scratching.
All I can picture is that gif of the octopus going like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so out of there. Yikes. Yeah. That's scary AF. I'm not about that.
Nope.
No.
Sometimes I feel jealous that I don't have a paranormal story, but they all sound so scary. I think I'm glad I don't.
You'll probably see a sewer gremlin.
I don't want to see a super gremlin. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it really does.
Ugh.
I'm picturing that thing from the side of the plane in the Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah. The lady churning butter.
Yikes.
Okay.
Great stories,
Great
everyone.
stories. Thank
Really
you so
good.
much.
I think I don't know if we
I'm kind
topped
of like
the
in
last
awe.
episode, but
I can't even process how scary these stories are.
yeah, you guys have excellent stories. Yikes. And all of you who said you have more stories, but you only sent in one, listen, stop being stingy with your stories. Send them all.
If we get enough, we could do like a bonus episode, or we'll save them for the end of season 3.
You guys, we have 13 episodes of Unsolved Mysteries to get through. We need a lot more stories, so keep them coming.
Yeah. I thought we would close out by having Cara do a little reading for us about how season 3 is going to go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all about this. Do you have enough space there, Cara?
I do.
Feel free to move the Oreos.
Something that should always be said prior to a reading.
Let me get my energy in order.
Okay. Look, I'm going to take a deep breath, be a little less creeped out.
This is what's speaking to me.
I'm really excited.
Ooh.
The Knight of Pentacles.
What does this mean for us? It seems good. I have a
It is
positive
good.
association with it.
Good things on the horizon. You're going forward.
Oh.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Success. I see this as a very successful, good card.
All right.
Good things ahead.
Forward motion.
That is
I
positive.
think more ghost things. I kind of, honestly, my gut says you're going to have like a spin-off podcast that's just going to be like weird paranormal shit. And I'm going to
Ooh.
be in it.
Kara sees this in the future.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
How many more unsolved mysteries are there?
Oof, a lot. Oh, there's a lot of mysteries that haven't been solved.
That's true. That's
Many
true.
mysteries are
Is there 11 seasons?
I thought there was like 13.
Oh, something
I
like
might
that.
be
That's
wrong.
a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We've only done 2 so far.
Yeah, we got a ways to go. So
Well.
it's good that we're moving forward.
Yeah.
All right, pull a card to see how something about you.
Ooh, it's the Queen of Pentacles, but it's reversed.
Oh.
Interesting. Well, that's actually accurate for me. I just lost my job this week.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I'm quite happy. I'm unemployed.
Okay.
It's actually why Kara can be with us right now.
It is. I was supposed to be working, but now I don't have a job.
It's funny how those things work out.
That's a good attitude.
But it'll get better. Okay. Here's one
Okay.
for Liz.
Okay.
Ooh. It's a reverse Four of
4
Wands.
of Wands. And there's 2 people like celebrating in there,
Well,
but it's upside down. Hopefully that doesn't interfere with our success, Samantha.
Liz, I'm blaming you if it does.
That's fair.
I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
Maybe
so
it means confusion. They all seem to mean confusion when they're upside down.
their meaning remains unaltered, reversed. Okay.
Oh.
So from the 4 great staves planted in the foreground, there is a great garland suspended. 2 female figures. So
Okay.
clearly me and Samantha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uplift nosegays at their side as a bridge over a moat, leading to a more manorial house. Okay.
Oh.
They are for almost on the surface country life, harmony, prosperity.
I like that. I
Hey.
like that.
Peace and okay, so this is us working together for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently it being upside down means it's jack shit. So
This is
there you go.
Samantha's.
All
Okay.
right, let's see.
Ooh. I love the Ace of Pentacles.
Okay.
So what does this have in
Tell me
store for
about it.
Samantha?
This is like a very good idea. That's just like, move. That's what that makes me think of. And spirituality and having that connection with your higher
Oh. Okay.
energy.
Okay.
That's what
like
I see
that.
here because it's like this cloud thing.
I like that. Liz, are you getting
Good
more
idea.
The
information?
little book says perfect contentment,
Oh.
ecstasy, also speedy intelligence or gold.
This is all great.
Gold.
Gold. Like you will get riches. I
Actual
think.
gold? Okay, I like all of this.
You will find treasure.
Oh my god.
Treasure.
Could you imagine?
Just to prove to you that you're wrong and treasure is out there.
I would welcome that, okay? I would welcome
treasure
to be
is
proven
real.
wrong by finding a treasure.
Yeah.
So,
Possibly at your new house.
yeah.
Treasure.
Yeah.
Hopefully not ghosts there though. I will come and cleanse your new house for you. If you
We're
want.
gonna have a cleansing. You're invited. We're gonna have some sort of sage party at my new
Ooh.
house when it is finally done. So
I can do that for anyone. Let me just put that out there that service is available.
listen, Cara's got some
Listen,
extra time right now.
I've
so
got
if you
some free
need
time. If you need a ghost cleanse, I can come to you.
Well, that was a pretty good reading.
Yeah, I feel positive about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm feeling a lot of positivity about season 3.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
We got some jokes about bar rescue to get out of the way, but
Hell
then
yeah.
we're just
John Taffer.
heading into what is our happiest season, the autumn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Love the autumn.
I
Yeah.
love autumn. I'm a basic bitch.
Yeah,
Same.
I'm not
It's
afraid
gonna
to
be
admit
great.
it.
Can be great.
Autumnal.
Yes.
Autumnal.
Yes.
We can be doing this podcast and also living our best Halloween lives, which
I love Halloween. Yeah. I love it.
is really great. Everything about it.
Yeah, it's the best.
All right, 5 listeners. We hope you enjoyed these very terrifying tales.
Yeah,
I hope
really
you-
scary.
I hope you can still sleep. I hope you weren't listening to this trying to get to sleep because
Yikes.
now that's not going to happen.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that. I hope you enjoyed season 2. We're excited to dive into season 3.
Yeah. So should we plug our shit?
Yeah.
Sure. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Perhaps it's you on all the platforms.
If this has inspired you to send in a ghost story or other paranormal tale, perhaps it's you podcast@gmail.com.
You can also go to perhapsitsyou.com. We have an email form to send it in.
Yes, we would love to hear your stories.
We have a ways until the end of season 3, so if you send a story and you're not acknowledged, it's not because we didn't get it. We just like to stay surprised.
Yeah, it's just freakier this way.
Yep.
and then we can all get scared together.
Yeah.
And you should definitely rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, because clearly this was the best podcast you ever heard.
Yeah, really good.
Obviously,
5 out of 5 Robert Stack?
Yes. Yes.
Cara's like, what is this? What is happening?
We only accept 5-star reviews. Thank you very much. Please join our Patreon page. You get a bonus episode every month, some other good goodies.
Yeah, we'll send you a postcard. At the moment, we're sending out stickers because we're foolish.
Yep.
Yeah. Cara, where can people find you?
I am on Instagram and Facebook. Cara Morell exists.
Which you do.
I do exist. And if you're in the Minneapolis area, I do teach yoga and other woo-woo shit.
And that's awesome, and you should go.
And find me on the internet, and I post all my stuff. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yes, thanks, everyone. Get out there and solve some mysteries, bitches.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.